What's going on, YouTube? This is episode 9, where I'm about to paint a 2025 Tesla Model 3. Paint code is PN01. As you can see, I have a repair on the door, repair on the quarter, and then I have this rear bumper that's repaired on the driver's side as well. I also forgot to mention that I will be blending into that front door. And with this particular color, it called for G7. So with a base coat version of G7, I will be applying that to all the repaired areas and also on the door that I'm going to be blending into, because I want everything to match. I don't want one door looking lighter or darker than the other one. So in order to make sure that doesn't happen, I have to do what I did to the rear door to the door that I'm going to be blending. As you can see, I'm blowing a little bit of air pressure around that toe tag. The reason why I do that is to make sure that any glass cleaner or anything that I've used to clean the bumper is not trapped behind that toe tag. And that is very possible, even when you don't think it is. A lot of times, if you spray your panels, or if you spray them and then wipe whatever you sprayed on, whatever kind of cleaner that you're using, it sometimes gets trapped around those crevices, and then without you even paying attention, sometimes it could come out, and then it's too late. You know what I mean? You could sand it, but then you have to make sure it's completely dry before sanding it, because then you can tear the paint or the sealer. So it's best to just make sure everything is blown properly and tacked properly before applying anything to each panel that you're spraying. Alright, so I got my G7 on all of my repaired areas and a little bit on that door that I'm blending into. So now, using my iWater Supernova, I will be applying a wet bed using PPG's 490, and I will be applying the 490 in all of the areas that I do not want color. But at the same time, what I'm going to be doing is blending into this 490. 490 is very, very important when blending to me, when spraying PPG's waterborne base coat. The reason being is that it prevents sand piling, it prevents seeding from the sand piling, and you don't want that. Every painter's goal, like as stated in previous episodes, is to get the cleanest job possible. And one way to do that is using PPG's T490. I will be leaving a description of a mix for 12 ounces in the bio, or in the description. I don't know why I said bio, but I will be leaving my formula, and it'll be for 12 ounces. So if you need more, you can just double up. But some people I know don't use 490, and they just, they blend their color out, and then they just tack in the areas where they did not want color to be, so they can get all of those metallics off that, in those areas. And what I found with doing that, because I did that, years ago when I first started trying to paint, these cars and blend colors out, and I think it was a gold color on a Chevy Malibu, and I did that. I didn't use 490. All of those metallics were just piling up in the same area, and then I had to just it just looked like sand piling, which it kind of changed the color of the car, especially in my blended area. So it was just an overall nightmare. So one way that I found that to not have that happen to me again is laying down a wet bed of T490, and everything just flows out smoothly. As you can see, I'm blending on my first coat heavy. I usually go heavy my first coat, especially with this color, and it doesn't never give me any problems. So I'm gonna let this dry and speed up the video a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to the second coat. All right. So here we go on this second coat. As you can see, I'm not going to put 490 on the whole bumper, but I just put it in the areas that's close to where I'm going to be blending into. And by the way, as a quick note, 490 does not change your color. It's basically a clear base coat. So think of it as you're just putting on more base coat, but it's actually you're getting it to where you can blend your color into. And once you spray your color and let release that gun, as you blending that color out, it will all dry together. And like I said before, as long as you pick the correct variant using that 490 and blending into it, it will work for you. So as you can see, I'm spraying it a little bit above where I do not want that color to drift on, close to that trunk lid or deck lid, and I just want everything to be able to match. So I'm only putting the 490 in those areas so I can blend my color into. So spraying with my DV1 on the second coat. By the way, I sprayed with 13 psi with this DV1. It recommends 16 psi, but I feel like it sprays too heavy at that psi. And somebody told me about trying it at 13 psi, and I've been spraying with 13 psi ever since. This gun is a really, really good gun, um, and it doesn't spray like a water hose like the Technus does. So at 13 psi, you can get the job done. Occasionally, when I'm spraying a silver, I might bump my air pressure up a little bit if I'm trying to make my color a little lighter. And I found a lot of times that that does help tremendously. I think I was spraying a Volvo the other day, and I ended up having to do that as well, and it worked out for me. So, yeah, DV1s are the way to go. I know a lot of people spray with sawdust. I mean, you can pretty much spray with any gun. It's more about the painter actually spraying than it is the paint gun, and then the paint gun just complements the painter, in my opinion. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. So right now I'm checking to see if I'm completely covered. I reduce my paint, being that I'm blending, and anytime I'm ever blending, I reduce my paint by 30%. When I'm not blending and I'm just painting a brand new part, I reduce it by 20%. 30% just makes it a little bit more reduced. 20% makes it a little bit more um, potent. So right now, whenever I just want to say something, when you're painting, always trust yourself. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, I mean, although PPG recommends two coats and a control coat, and then two coats of the clear, sometimes it takes more coats to cover. So when you're in the booth and you're spraying PPG waterborne base coat and you have a color like this, as you can see, I didn't think I was completely covered in a certain area, so I just went back and just put a little bit more base in that area that I thought that looked a little bit transparent. Maybe it was my eyes, I don't know, but just to be on the safe side, nobody likes to redo jobs at all. So just to be safe, I just went ahead and put a little bit more base in the area that I thought that looked a little bit transparent, and you see me now I'm drying that paint in that area as well. And I you always just want to trust yourself. When in doubt, trust yourself. Put one more coat on if you think that it needs one more coat, because as you can see, this is kind of a big job. It's almost down the whole side. I'm not painting the fender, but I got two doors, the quarter panel, and the rear bumper. And my main goal with every single job is to get it right the first time. Nobody likes to redo anything. It costs the shop money, more money in materials, and it costs you money and time that you could be spraying something else. And one way to alleviate all of that is by investing in a light to where you can check your coverage on every coat that you lay down. All right, so I'm applying once again the 490 in the areas that I blended into, and I'm about to apply a control coat. When applying a control coat, you want everything to go on nice and even. because the whole basis of it is to basically get all the metallics to lay down nice and even and uniform looking. If you spray too heavy, it will be it'll look blotchy or like a tiger stripe, and you don't want that. So you don't want to spray it really heavy, but you also want to spray it even, and you want it to go on with a mist, almost like you're misting everywhere you have base. So as you can see, as I'm turning my gun from left to right, I kind of angle my gun in a different way. And the reason why I do that is because it helps me when I'm blending. I also release my air pressure as well. So I'm done with the control coat. Now on to the clear. Using my iWater Supernova, I'm about to clear this car using PPG's EC520. The flash time between each coat on this particular clear is 5 minutes. So what I like to do is lay down my first coat of clear, come out, set a timer on my phone, and then go back in and apply the second coat of clear. The reason why I chose to use 520 on this job is because I'm not clearing any flat surfaces. If I was clearing like a hood or something like that, or a roof, then I would be using 530. But being that I want to get this job in and out, and this clear looks identical to the 530, um, I just went ahead and used the 520. Now, flash time is very, very important, because if, like, I'm clearing this car right now, I walk out, and let's say I set a timer for 5 minutes, and let's say I was uh, on the phone and it was a little bit more than 5 minutes. Let's say it was end up being like 10 minutes. Then when I come back in the booth and try to apply my clear coat, it's going to be a little bit more orange pilly than the factory refinish that I would be wanting. So it's very, very important that you follow your flash times by the P sheet. And PPG recommends for 520, 5 minutes between each coat. And let's say, hypothetically, let's say I laid down this as the first coat, and then I said, you know what, I'm not going to follow the P sheet. I'm not going to let it flash at all. I'm just going to go in and then put another coat right on top of this. Now, if you were to do that and not follow the P sheet, then you run the risk of the clear coat running on you. And you also, not only do you run the risk of the clear coat running on you, you also run the risk of the clear coat dying back once you bake the car. Me, after the second coat, I'm going to be baking this car at 165 degrees 165 degrees for 30 minutes. And so if I was to go back to back with my clear on this and then baked it at that temperature, the clear is going to die back. And what I mean by die back is it's going to be looking a little hazy. So it's not going to be finished, proper refinish. It's going to be looking a little hazy, a little dry, and a little dull. And yes, you can try to buff it, but in my opinion, it will not look how it would look if you just let it flash properly. So here's the second coat. And like I said, I let it flash for 5 minutes. And I'm laying it down with a 50% overlap, nice and even and uniform. Nothing is dry. Nothing is going on dry. Just have that 50% overlap and applying the clear with consistency. Everybody clears differently. As you see, I like to split up the bumper into like different parts. That way I can make sure everything is completely covered. And it's not looking I don't have any dry areas where my clear did not reach that area properly. So like I cleared the side of it, then I went to the middle, and now I'm on the opposite side. If you go back to episode 1, I know a lot of people have problems clearing the Dodge Charger bumpers, and it's the same thing with those. You just split it up into 3 different parts or 4 different parts, however you want to do it, and it will work for you. Now I know you're watching this and you're like, you probably got a question like, hey man, like why did you clear your first coat like that? Like the first coat, you see me clear this car and I stopped in the middle of a panel. I think I stopped a little bit past this door. And my answer would be that it doesn't really matter. Everybody clears differently. Some people clear from the bottom to the top. Some people clear from the top to the bottom. And as long as you follow your piece sheet and you're very aware of the environment that you're spraying in and the climate outside, then you're good. So the first coat, yes, I did. I split it up, and then the second coat, I decided to walk it. This is a 2025, and I wanted it to look as nice as possible. I treat every car the same, but I'm just stating that it is a 2025. It's a brand new car, so I need to make it look like it came straight from the factory or the dealership, brand new. So that was my goal, and as you can see, as you will see, the final look of this car, you won't see any runs. You won't see anything of that nature because I followed the proper steps. So I want to take the time now to express my gratitude. If you made it this far, if you've learned something, feel free to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'll get back to you, get those answered, get them back to you promptly. And like I said, man, we're gonna keep dropping this content. This is episode 9. Episode 10 is on the way. And like always, stay humble and keep going.